shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender!
So here I go, into the Stockport air raid shelters, which could accommodate 6,500 people during the Second World War. Now obviously a tourist attraction, and if you're ever in the area, I strongly advise you take a visit.
Here is the paper which bears his name upon it as well as mine. We regard the agreement signed last night and the Anglo-German naval agreement as symbolic of the desire of our two peoples never to go to war with one another again.
So we're just going to walk around, and I'm just going to tell you what I saw, what you can see on the screen yourself, how it felt, and things that stuck out to me. So after that first room with the video playing on the wall, you come inside this start of the tunnels. As you can see, the floor is quite wet there, and then you walk down. Must have took a very long time to tunnel out these caves, and they're all underneath Stockport. There's a giant web of them. Air raid wardens wanted. 1939, Britain at war. The little discs you can see on the wall there, the yellow ones, you have like a little kind of radio with you, and you can press play on those little discs and you get some information. It's not too cold down there. You'd imagine it to be quite cold. Wasn't that bad, even though this was done in January. And a lot of the rooms are laid out how they would have been back in the days of the World War. So I'll pop inside most of them that I'm able to. Now, lots of the tunnels are actually caged off now. I don't know if that's because they're unstable or damp or whatever it may be. But as you can see, there's no access down that area. But there's plenty which is open for the tour. You can see the green building up there. It really is quite fascinating to walk around. There's another caged off area just to the left. And then we'll start to see some of the specific rooms. This one here is the tool store. And they are laid out roughly how they would have been. I'm just looking at the walls and seeing how they've been carved and chipped away at. Again, Must have took so many hours to prepare this. Sick bay. So I'm guessing this is where you are treated when you weren't very well. There's the rows of beds there. Guessing there would have been some kind of lining back in the day. Places to go to the toilet or be sick. We'll go and check out what's up there shortly. Really long row of beds and benches down there. I think the benches are for people taking the tour to sit down and learn about the different areas, and then the metal bed frames are original, where people would have slept. 3 layers there, obviously. It's just fascinating to see what was done to try and protect people. Again, there would have been up to 6,500 people in these web of tunnels. More beds. That bit's been closed off at the end. Old radio there. This has been lined. More recently, I don't believe it would have had this lining back then. So if you do ever get to Stockport, it only costs about £5 to take this tour. Nurses only. I'm going to have to break that rule for the purpose of the video. Toilets, fairly modern. You will see some other toilets soon which are not as modern as those ones. As you can see, it just goes on and on. More tool store. There's lots of different ways all over Stockport to get into these air raid shelters. Like lots of them, but they're all closed off. People like to get inside them, urban explorers, though it's not advised. I came in the official tour entrance. Kitchen area. All the old school kitchen appliances and whatnot. Tried to see if the water would turn on, to no avail. It's crazy to think that people were actually, you know, living down here and walking around and understanding what was going on above. Now here's the general male toilets. which, as I said before, compared to the nurses' ones are quite modern. Now this looks like literally a giant pipe, which I'm guessing would have just ran right through and had some kind of exit point where all the waste would have been collected. What's behind this curtain? Another toilet. I'm keen to know if any other town or city in the UK has anything like this. Guessing that Stockport wasn't the only town that had facilities to look after people during the war. Obviously, this is my area, so I'm familiar with it. Now, this seemed to go on for miles. It was just pitch black down there. More bed area. So yeah, is there anywhere else in the country that had this? Or something similar? Underground caves and tunnels and places to escape from the bombing? Let me know. How to fight a fire. There's lots of sandbags there. Yeah, really fascinating. I walked past this Stockport area shelters, the entrance, on the regular. It only occurred to me recently, why have I not made a little documentary about this? It's right on my doorstep. And it just goes on and on and on. The signs that say this way are very helpful because you would get lost in here. I wonder what the lighting system would have been like in the 40s. Wonder if this is it. I doubt it. And this would have been the women's toilets of the day. Again, same kind of system, big pipes in the ground. I don't think it would have smelt too great in there. Wouldn't have been a great job to be cleaning that out. And there's loads of little signs all over telling people, you know, what they should do, what they shouldn't do. And if you have heard a few sniffles throughout this, or even on this voiceover, I have been very ill recently. The weather has certainly had an impact on my health. A very, very bad cold. So if you do hear the sniffles, I apologise. Classic sign there. Keep calm and carry on. And a few more sayings and slogans from the day. United Kingdom colours there. I believe we're coming to the end now. And what you've seen is just a small part of the tunnels. A lot of it's closed, as I've said. But there you go. That was my walk around the Stockport area shelters.